What's up guys, Firewolf Tech here, showing you guys the 42-inch LG OLED Evo C4. The 42-inch OLED Evo C series have been a popular option to use as a PC monitor for your gaming desk setup. This is the successor to the C3 of last year that I reviewed. The C4 goes all the way up to 83 inches, but the smaller 42-inch is still one of the most popular options to use as an OLED PC monitor, despite it being a smart TV. The most notable changes to the C4 is the new 144Hz refresh rate option that is exclusive to PC inputs, a slightly brighter display, and an upgraded Alpha 9 Gen 7 AI processor. However, I did encounter some issues which I'll cover in this video. I want to quickly cover how to enable the 144Hz feature. In the settings menu, scroll down to general, then click on game optimizer. Then you're going to turn on game optimizer, which then allows you to scroll all the way down to enable the 144Hz mode. This is also where you can enable VRR, G-Sync, and FreeSync. Once the mode is on, your PC should now see the option to select 144Hz. Now back to the C4. What makes this a great choice for PC gamers is the beautiful 4K OLED display with NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium Pro built in, giving you awesome buttery smooth gaming. The LG C4 is also a great choice for console gamers with native 120Hz refresh rate with VRR and auto low latency mode to take advantage of the PS5's or Series X max potential. Now the downside to using a TV as a monitor is that you would have to use your remote to power on and off the display manually or use the power button on the middle. Powering on your PC won't automatically wake the screen. It's a minor inconvenience and not a deal breaker in my opinion. Another factor to consider is that this screen is super glossy, which most display enthusiasts would absolutely love, but there's virtually no anti-reflective properties, so you'll see almost every reflection if you have no lighting control. Practically your own black mirror. With more and more OLED monitors hitting the market, I want to know if the LG C4 is worth getting with a premium retail price tag of $1,499. The Evo C4 has a beautiful slim design and very thin bezels that look fire. It also comes with these L-shaped feet that gives it a sleek and minimalistic look, while all the other sizes have a base that sits in the middle. If you're planning on using this as a monitor, then you really need some type of monitor arm or mount that gives you more ergonomic support like height adjustment and tilt. The monitor arm that I've been using on many large monitors is the Ergotron HX, which supports the size and weight, giving it an awesome floating look. It's pricey, but definitely a nice and premium monitor arm. Just make sure whichever standard arm you go with supports more than 22 pounds. You're also going to need an additional bracket since the C4 has a 300x200 VESA mount. I'm using the Vivo Steel VESA plate adapter, which works great. For inputs, the C4 has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports that all support native 120Hz, with the second slot having eARC support. There's also 3 USB-A ports, but you won't be able to use it as a USB hub for your PC. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack, an Ethernet port, antenna input, and an optical digital audio output. While I can't be too critical being that this is a smart TV, I would like LG to add a USB upstream port in the future so that you can at least utilize the USB ports on the back, which would be convenient to connect things like your mouse or keyboard. Make sure you look into a good certified HDMI 2.1 cable since there are no cables in the box. Talking about cables, Magtame, my sponsor for this portion of the video, has sent me a solution to keep your cable clutter out of sight, out of mind. Their cables have unique magnetic features that retains their out-of-box crisp spiral designs no matter how many times you use it. This keeps your setup looking nice and tidy whether it's being used or not, and it also makes it way easier to bring with you on the go. We all know how annoying it is trying to fish for a cable. This USB-C to C cable has a fast 60-watt power delivery, which is plenty fast for your new iPhone 15 series or latest Android device. If you ever need more power, they even have a 240-watt option, which is crazy fast. This silver color is fire, and the cable feels nice and premium with a sleek, flat design. It also has a strong and secure grip, and every time I use the Magtame cable, my favorite part is always rolling it back into a perfect spiral, waiting to be used again. So when you're ready to upgrade your cables, check out the link down below, and Magtame also hooked it up with a special discount code. Now let's test out the gaming performance of the 42-inch LG C4 using my gaming PC equipped with an RTX 4090 and an AMD 7950 X3D. Stay tuned because I'll also showcase PS5 gameplay. Gaming on the C4 is fire, and HDR makes the experience even better. While I wouldn't recommend this for competitive fast-paced first-person shooters, since other OLED monitors are offering 240 and even 360 plus refresh rates, I think 144Hz is still reasonably quick to slap in the battlefield. The extra 24Hz up from 120 isn't going to be noticeable, at least for me, and if you can see a difference, then it's really minor and not like the jump from 60 to 120 or 120 to 240 for example. My 4090 gets frames well above 144 frames with extreme graphic settings, NVIDIA's DLA8 and frame generation on games like Modern Warfare 3 and Forza 5. Of course, it all depends on the game and visual settings, but I think if you want to enjoy high fidelity gaming, a 4080 or higher should be enough to enjoy close to 120 frames. SDR gaming is also great, but I do wish they had the option of custom preset settings that you can change depending on what type of games you play, or make it quicker and easier to change a black stabilizer to see enemies in the dark easier. This being a smart TV, of course it'll come with built-in speakers. You get a 40 watt 2.2 channel speaker that sound great and better than most monitors that feature speakers. I think most would be satisfied with just the LG C4 speakers given how close you'll be sitting. Taking a deeper dive on the display, you're getting amazing blacks and contrast thanks to OLED technology. You don't have any raised blacks or purple/grayish tints like QD OLED, and you also have amazing clarity, which is better than their own matte coatings on their OLED monitors. The downside, like I mentioned earlier, is that this display is very reflective. You're going to have to think about the placement of this display and whether or not you have good lighting control. For example, in my setup, I have two large windows on the left side with the C4 in the middle of the room. When it gets sunny and bright, the reflections of the windows become very obvious and can be distracting. Now, because I have blackout curtains, I can immediately eliminate the reflection, but that also means that I won't get to enjoy the sunlight throughout the day. Thankfully, the brightness of this display and the direction of my windows isn't that bad, but I could imagine it being worse if I had my windows in the opposite direction of the screen. The Evo C4 is noticeably brighter than last year's C3 that I have reviewed, which makes it a way better experience. I don't have a brightness tester, but rtings.com has done an official review where they tested out the brightness and measured peak SDR brightness from 259 nits at 100% window to 427 nits at 2% window, and HDR peak brightness from 194 nits at 100% windows to 950 nits at 2%. I'll link the review in the descriptions, and all credits go to them with this test. So yes, brightness is awesome on this display, and so are the colors. HDR on Windows is also a great experience, and I recommend doing a Windows HDR calibration for better performance. I also like to increase the contrast to 70% in NVIDIA's control panel, but you could always adjust it to how you like it. There's also a PC Dolby Vision option that you can manually turn on, but in my experience, I prefer just using HDR. Testing out the PS5 on the LG Evo C4 gives you everything you need to maximize your console gaming experience. You're getting 4K variable refresh rates all the way up to 120Hz, auto low latency mode, and amazing HDR. Combine that with a 0.03 millisecond response time and you're getting some of the best console gaming experiences. Unlike PC, the LG C4 will turn on or switch inputs to the PS5 the moment it turns on, a feature I wish they somehow integrated with PC. Either way, this TV checks all the boxes for next-gen console gaming. VRR works great on the C4 with the game optimizer showing you the frames updating in real time. You could also press the green dotted button 7 times to bring up a real-time refresh rates, which is also helpful. While the LG C4's large 42-inch and beautiful 4K OLED is awesome as a PC monitor, I did experience screen flickering when I enabled HDR at 144Hz, unfortunately. It would happen occasionally where the display would freeze, almost as if my PC was stuck, and then it would flicker really bad for a couple of seconds. Now, I looked into it on Reddit, and many have experienced this across older C models, with some saying the correct term is a G-Sync handshake issue where it briefly loses connection. Now, this will never happen in game though, only when web browsing, editing, or any non-gaming activity. I've changed HDMI cables, tried the 4080 Super, and disabled G-Sync on NVIDIA control and even on the C4 settings, which didn't work. It wasn't until I disabled 144Hz and went down to 120Hz that the flickering went away, keeping HDR on. If I wanted 144Hz without experiencing the flicker, Disabling HDR also worked. I think it's software related on the LG side where a feature update might fix this, or you might not even experience it at all. I just have to include this issue so far. If you ask me, I still prefer using HDR at 120Hz versus SDR at 144Hz. I'm hoping a fix comes soon, or maybe it's just on my unit. One of the main concerns of OLED is burn-in, especially if you're using this as a monitor that gets used for longer hours. I think OLED technology is good enough where burn-in is less likely to occur, and this TV also has an automatic pixel clean feature that activates after a certain time to keep your OLED panel lasting longer. You could also manually enable these pixel cleans or pixel refresh in the settings. The warranty that LG covers on this TV is only 1 year, which kind of sucks. And compared to other OLED monitors, even from LG, they give you between 2 to 3 years, so it's something to consider if you're concerned about burn-in. You could also always get extended warranties if you really want to be on the safe side. This being a smart TV gives you so many options and customizations. It's powered by LG WebOS 24 with many smart features geared towards watching TV content. If you're planning on exclusive PC monitor usage, then there are options you can choose to make it closer to a monitor, such as disabling smart home whenever the TV turns on, and to prioritize the last input, which is how I like to use it. Skipping all the other features, I want to cover Game Optimizer, which when enabled allows you to turn on VRR, G-Sync, FreeSync, the 144Hz refresh rate, and more. I like how this menu has different visual aesthetics and automatically shows up instead of that boring menu. There's a dark room level adjustment that I love using at night since it reduces the brightness, making it more comfortable for nighttime gaming or working sessions. While I like having the Game Optimizer, I do wish some of these features were automatically on whenever you connect your PC, because sometimes if you connect it, you might not realize you're not using your display's full potential without turning these features on first. Using this for productivity is awesome. The large 42-inch display gives you so much screen real estate to put up multiple split screens that increases your workflow. I like scaling the display to 150%, which for me is the perfect balance. Editing on DaVinci Resolve is incredible and makes it easier to view more detail on the timeline and other settings. While I love ultra-wide monitors, I think the C4's 42-inch 4K display holds its own weight given the extra vertical space, which makes it so nice to use. The 42-inch LG C4 has a pixel density of 105 pixels per inch, which is close in density to a 27-inch 1440p monitor. I think the display looks very sharp and text is easy to read. Showing off the text clarity, I don't notice much fringing at all, and whether the text is large or tiny, everything looks good to me. So is the 42-inch LG Evo C4 worth getting as a PC monitor? Well, the Evo C line is still one of the best options when it comes to a 42-inch OLED display that offers a 4K resolution, and when you consider that this retails for almost $1,500, it becomes a strong contender to other premium OLED monitors around that price range. It's not perfect, especially since it still lacks basic PC monitor functions, but there's still a reason why this form factor has a fan base. If this is your first OLED monitor, then you should strongly consider your lighting situation of your setup, since the reflections of light sources can ruin your experience. If you like playing in the dark, then you will absolutely love the quality of this display. Despite my flickering / handshake issues when trying HDR at 144Hz, I still found the overall experience at 120Hz to be sufficient. If you want a higher refresh rate, then at this point you definitely want to look into 4K OLED monitors that are releasing this year with refresh rates of 240 plus. TVs tend to have sales frequently, so I would recommend waiting for a nice price drop for better value. I know at the time of this review you can still snag the previous C3 for almost 40% off the price of the C4, and that may be a better choice for you if you're looking at price to performance. Either way, at one point the C3 will be gone and your only option at that point is going to be a C4. For those that still don't mind spending the extra cash for the Evo C4, you're still getting a brighter, faster, and better display, and I have no issues recommending this as a PC monitor. As long as you have the space for it, I think it's a great choice. If you're interested in getting this TV or the many tech that you've seen in this video, I will have affiliate links down below, which also helps and support the Firewolf Tech channel. Huge thanks to Magtame for sponsoring a section of this video, and don't forget to use my special discount code if you want to upgrade your cables. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I would love your support with a like, share, and subscribe. Firewolf out.